Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to show you an absolutely perfect example of serve pronation by Marcel Granollers. Now, you know me, I'm always telling you, you need to go out and film yourself serving or hitting any stroke so you can compare yourself to what you're learning in these videos. Right here, this is the moment of truth. You'll notice Marcel is about to go up and hit this ball, and Marcel, an incredible player, currently number 10 in the world in doubles, and you can see that his racket is on edge, meaning if he just swung up without doing anything to his racket, he would actually hit the frame. He would actually hit the frame of the racket up into the ball, like an axe chopping an apple, right? So this is a supinated position. Right now his strings are actually facing the fence over here. So his strings are facing off to his left. And he's going to go up, and as he goes up, his arm turns. And you'll notice now his strings are facing more toward the court and more toward his service box. And so you want to lead with the edge. So that was backward. So he's going to lead up with the edge. And at this moment, it looks like he's going to hit with the edge. But then he turns at the last second. And the feeling has to be that it's at the last second. Now, when you turn, you will continue turning. And so after contact, you'll see that his strings are now facing the opposite direction. So here his strings are facing off to his left, the fence over here. And now after hitting, his strings are facing off to the right. In fact, slightly open. Becker used to do this, Sampras, where Isner does this, where the strings are actually facing slightly up. That's how flexible his arm is. It's amazing. But this is a natural result of holding the correct grip, the continental grip, and using the proper motion. But most amateur players I see, even if they do come up on edge, they're not loose enough and relaxed enough to allow that racket to continue to turn. You know, there's a 180-degree difference in the racket face. Here the strings are facing off to the left. Here the strings are facing off to the right and slightly open, actually. So how do you time this, right? Well, first off, it takes a lot of practice, and I get this, but what I want you to do is not try to hit perfectly flat. In fact, if we go to contact right here, his racket is not like parallel to the baseline. We can just look at the angle of the baseline. We should see a lot of string bed at contact if his racket was truly parallel with the baseline in the net, and it's not. The right edge of his racket is slightly in front of his left edge. So that's how you get side spin, and he's actually putting side spin on this ball. That's how you pronate and hit side spin. Remember, we talked about 180 degrees of racket, turning, where the strings face left and then the strings face the opposite, face right after contact. Well, you're not going to turn the racket typically a full 90 degrees by the time you contact the ball, right? So the racket's on edge, and if you went perfectly flat into the back, you would have turned the racket 90 degrees to contact. Well, he's not 90 degrees. He probably is only turning the racket about 85 degrees, which means his right edge of his racket is slightly in front of his left edge, which that is going to be putting side spin on the ball. Now, after the ball is gone, then it continues to turn. See, this is the fastest way to move the forearm and move the racket through contact, is to make that turn. Well, he's so loose that the turn continues. And he continues to point his strings now the opposite direction. So I want you to go out and film yourself. And I want you at first just to try to hit the ball with the edge of the racket. Yes, you heard me right. Just literally hit the ball with the frame of the racket. And then as you go up and you feel like you're going to hit with the frame, at the last second, begin turning your racket. And continue turning it so that after contact, you're in this pronated position where the strings are facing off to the right. And that's if you're right-handed. Everything here is going to be reversed if you're a lefty. So go out and film yourself. Make sure you're using the continental grip. Make sure that when your racket comes around that you're leading with the edge. And then feel like you're leading with the edge as long as you can, and then turn at the last second. You're going to use this on the flat serve. If you want to hit slice, you'll be even more on edge, swinging off to the right of your target if you're right-handed. You're going to be doing this pronation even on a kick serve. It's a different toss and a different body position, but this movement is going to be used on all of your serves. Go out and film yourself. use the supinated and pronated position on your serve, and there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.